Why is self-study so hard? Why is it even harder in data science? I did lots of self-study in various areas, in particular in mathematics, but also in programming. Good, let's get into it. I give you a warning, my handwriting isn't the best, but you know, I'm a doctor, I'm allowed to have crappy handwriting. Number one, also based on what I saw and discussed on Twitter, is the issue with the lack of structure. So whenever you join a university course or you go to a boot camp, you have structure because someone else imposes a structure on you. So someone else tells you you have to do this course first, followed by that one, and so on. And each and every course has its own aims and structure. Now, if you do it yourself, the big issue is, well, where do you start? How do you structure it? So what can we do about it? Yeah, when it comes to structure, well, we have to impose a structure. We need a plan. You have to stick to it. Yeah, that's important. So we also have to think about one more issue here. We have to monitor. Yeah, we have to monitor, we have to check on us, otherwise we will be lost. That happens also when you go to university or go to a boot camp, because you are monitored. You have to do certain pieces of assessment, you have to do a project. And that's important. And this again is missing in the case of self-study. Next, the lack of support. Yeah, because we don't have a tutor, we don't have someone providing direct feedback on our work. The other thing is we don't have a peer group, we don't have fellow students, and that is quite important to get a support network. These peers do many things for you without you actually knowing. Number one, you have little discussions about it, so you learn from each other. Peer learning. You also motivate each other. And most importantly, you also put some pressure on each other. There is certain peer pressure which actually works. This can give you motivation again. That's very important. So what can you do to get the support you need for your own learning? You should try social media. Many people criticize social media, but actually there are many elements that are kind of really important to develop a support network. For me, the most favorite part is the tech Twitter. The tech Twitter is brilliant. Forget about Twitter in general, it's mostly garbage, political nonsense, and don't go there, don't talk about politics. But the tech Twitter is really good. So if you look for the hashtag, for instance, of 100 deaths, you will find lots of amazing stories where people really changed their life. So I strongly recommend have a look and just, get motivated by these stories. Now, social media can be helpful because you can exchange ideas. You can post your progress. You can get some moral support. All of these things matter. And you can also get together and organize some chats about your progress or the lack of your progress, or you can do some joint work on projects. So I highly recommend setting up an account and engaging with the wider community. Again, it's also really important for networking and getting your first job in data science. The next important point is expectations. First of all, you have to have certain aims. You need aims. You need to expect some outcome. So aims are really important. Yeah? And aims are in particular important when it comes to monitoring. Yeah? So to monitor your progress, to have a plan, you need to specify some aims. And you have to look at your aims and see how are they fulfilled following a certain plan. The issue with expectations is, and this is the downside partly also of YouTube, expectations are very often completely and utterly unrealistic. There are so many YouTube videos out there that promise, oh, you can learn JavaScript in 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 second, whatever, which is utter nonsense. You can't. Same with Python. Yeah, be realistic. Be realistic, and I keep saying this in my videos as well, that you have to have realistic expectations. To be honest, if your expectations are unrealistic, you very quickly will lose motivation because you think you suck, you think you can't deliver, Of course you can't deliver if you have unrealistic expectations. So start with a realistic plan, have realistic aims, monitor whether you actually achieve those aims. For instance, when it comes to data science, number one, yes, you need Python. Good idea to do Python. How much time should you expect it takes for some basic understanding of Python? I'm just doing right now a new playlist on Python for data science. So how much time would it take to go to a basic level of understanding? I think realistically somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, that is realistic. Not 4 hours, not 2 hours. That is nonsense. You will never ever make that. You really have to also go beyond just following what people do in videos. Yeah, you have to stop the videos, try it yourself. Early on, do projects. Also in this playlist I will do lots of projects, and you need to try it yourself. Try to get feedback on your work. Again, social media will help in this context. Number 2 is basic statistics. Yeah, I have already almost now a completed playlist on data science, a total beginner's course using Stata. So again, what is a realistic assumption here? I think it will take you 8 to 10 weeks to do it properly. Yeah, it's only a few hours of lectures, you might think, but be realistic. You always have to work through it. Yeah, so 1 lecture, 1 week, that's actually enough. Do it properly. Just, watch it properly. Stop it, do it yourself, and work on all the assignments, and you will get something out of it. But you can't do this in an afternoon. So the main thing here is to be real. That's the important insight. Okay, so now here it is. I think these are the most important factors. And all of these elements, of course, they will influence motivation. Yeah, so motivation isn't missing. So motivation is exactly sitting somewhere, say, down there. Motivation is down here. And motivation is influenced heavily by all of these factors. Yeah. So if you have unrealistic expectations, you will be demotivated. If you get stuck, you don't have a support network, you will be demotivated. If you don't follow a structure, if you don't have a plan, you will be demotivated because you don't see progress happening. Yeah, so number 1, have a structure, make a plan, and we will talk about this more. Have a support network and have realistic expectations. One final point. Why is data science more difficult? The main reason is it has less structure. Yeah, so if you think about web development, it's quite easy what you need to do. You do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, holy trinity of web development, you will be fine. Data science is more messy. It has less structure because there's so many different areas, and they do overlap an awful lot. Yeah, so there's an overlap between data analytics, data analysis, data science, business analytics, and so on. Yeah, so that makes it much more difficult. And the big elephant in the room, of course, is all the things related to statistics and mathematics. That's difficult, but I recommend do a simple course first. Do the applied stats, which I cover in data science for beginners. Do it applied first. Get the ideas before you go into the details. Yeah, I'm happy to do more stuff on the nitty-gritty details. I love mathematics. I spent years studying mathematics. But get the foundation first. Understand the concepts. That's much more important. And also you have to be able to communicate these concepts to your clients. Focus on these 3 areas. Try to address them. And number 1, you will start making a plan, and we will talk more about this in other videos.